Hey team, Coach Stephanie here with your cool down of the week. We've got our 5 stretches to go through. As always, feel free to pause the video anytime you want to spend just more time in a pose than maybe we have for time in the video. And breathe. We're trying to breathe and relax and release the tension. Okay, so we're going to start out with puppy pose. So let's begin on our hands and knees. Okay. And then from here, you're going to keep your hips stacked over your knees as you begin to walk your hands out in front as far as they'll go. And then once you get to your end point, you're going to press your palms down into the ground firmly, and then you'll draw the chest down, you'll arch the back, and you're going to start feeling a stretch in the shoulders, maybe through the armpits and lats, maybe even into the back, trying to soften the chest down towards the ground. You rest your forehead on the floor if that's helpful. All right, coming out of that, let's go ahead and take a seat. And now we're going to go into a wide leg fold position. So you're going to go feet straddle. And if it's comfortable, we can put your butt off the mat and then the heels can stay on the mat just for a little cushion because we want your toes to point up. We want you to feel nice and tall. So if you need cushion under your heels, go for that. And then we're going to go for an overhead reach. So I'm going to take my right arm and I'm going to reach it up. I'm going to lift a little bit taller and I'm going to turn to my right so that I can then reach over for my left toes. I'm kind of looking up towards the ceiling and rolling my ribs back so I get a little bit more length through the side as I reach through my right fingertips. And at the same time, my right hip is kind of anchoring down so that I have 2 competing pulls through the hip and through the arm to create that length on the right side. Left hand can go anywhere that's comfortable. Good, and bringing yourself up out of that. And let's go to the other side. So we sit up really tall. That left arm lifts. First, we turn to the left a little bit so that as we reach up and over, we're feeling that left side. And then keep anchoring that left hip down as you reach away with those left fingertips. And let's go ahead and come on out of that. Okay. Next up, we have a quad stretch. So we're going to shift around a bit. So bringing yourself back onto the mat if you're not there already. And then we're going to take our right foot and bring it in towards our right hip. Okay. And then left leg is just straight out in front. We might already be feeling a right quad stretch or even a right hip crease like the hip flexor stretch. And if you are cool, stay here. If not, we can start to walk the hands back behind us a little bit. Maybe coming down to the forearms. And if you have the extra space today, we can lay all the way flat. But wherever the tension is in here, just make sure we're not going too far. You want to be able to breathe and relax and sink into the position. So just a couple breaths here. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and gently walk your hands out of that, sitting up. And then we'll switch feet. So right leg in front, left leg, and left foot comes around. Get nice and tight towards that hip. Okay. And then same thing, we walk the hands back. Just get a check-in on how that quad is feeling. And then if you want more, we can go to the forearms. Like this side feels a little tighter, so I'm not going to go much farther. Or we can lay all the way flat onto our back, just wherever we can manage to hold the stretch and breathe. All right. Gently walk yourself out of that, nice and slow. Cool. And then we're going to flip over and we're going to go into Cobra. So I'm going to start on the hands and knees just to give us a place to begin. And then we'll just allow the hips to come down to the floor. Okay. And so our Cobra here is just a little shoulder roll down and soft hips towards the floor and a lift of the chest. And if you want, you can look over one shoulder and the other. And the more we lift our chest in this position, the more stretch through the abs we might feel. And if you're feeling anything in the lower back, just tighten those abs a little bit. That will help keep that back feeling pretty good. And one more time, looking over the shoulder and the other shoulder. Good. And then let's go ahead, sit the hips back in a child's pose real quick, just a little reset here. Because we're going to go into our last position, which is pigeon. So coming back to those hands and knees, we're going to take our right knee and we're just going to bring it towards our right wrist. And at the same time, that right foot comes a little bit forward. Okay. And then the left leg is just going to scoot back. And as you do that, you're going to open up this position and maybe find that the hip gets a little closer to the floor. If it doesn't, and you want to find a little bit more softness in this position, we can just bring the hip to the ground. Or if you want to be a little more active, my hip doesn't get towards the ground, so that's what I'm going to choose today. And just kind of breathing into that tension and trying to soften like other places, like the jaw and the shoulders, the fingers, to help the whole body accept the position and hopefully release some tension in that hip. So breathe here for a few cycles. Good. And let's go ahead and bring ourselves back to the hands and just kind of sit up, roll to the outer edge of your right leg, and that's how we'll transition to the second side. Okay, so back to the hands and knees, and then we'll go left knee towards your left wrist. Okay, that left foot comes forward a little bit, and then the right leg just shimmies back. So we open up this position, and again, maybe this side is tighter or not as tight, and so we just adjust how we need to. So I'm going to stay pretty kind of squared in my hip position, so I'm going to roll my hips forward, and then from there, we can come down to the forearms. But as we're breathing, again, we're softening all the other places, shoulders, fingers, jaw, forehead can soften, feet can soften. We'll just breathe here, allowing those exhales to help release the tension. Good. And if you feel ready, we can just kind of roll to the outer edge of the left leg. And we are all done. So thank you so much for taking time to go through these stretches and help your body and your central nervous system recover. And then we'll see you guys next time.